So, what people have not told you yet is that vegetation has been earmarked. There are things that nature will be discontinuing. Bananas is potentially one of those things. So, eat them while you can. There will be different bugs, different species of animals, different people. There will be a discontinuation of different things. And so what is happening, it's out of our hands on a certain level, yet all in our hands. And so it's in recognizing that these things are actually happening is what's pertinent. So all of the herbs that are needed for the parasite offloading that is happening right now on the planet are actually listed in the Vyonich Manuscript. And that's because there was a parasite issue back then. And that is what they utilized. The whole dimensional reality of things. No, these things repeat over history. So the dimensional reality is that it happened in 536. It happened again in 1500 BCE. And then it keeps happening every so many thousand years. And so there's a whole lot of information that has been kept from us on parasites. And so sorry, my watch is going off. It's in ancient writings where the answers are. And so the parasites are absolutely connected on astrological, genetic. There's all sorts of things that play into it that it's being withheld from you. And so in order to offload the parasites, you need to know your ancestry. And you'll have to utilize foods and herbal remedies that correlate with those genetics, because those genetics actually correlate to the parasites. And the Vyonich Manuscript is pertinent information for this. This is what that manual was for. They want to talk about it's witchcraft and all sorts of things like that. No, it's parasite science. It's pertinent and we need it. So all of the ancient rituals, even biblical, all of these ancient rituals were designed for parasite offloading. Do you understand? Archons, demons, reptilians, whatever you want to call them. Doesn't matter what you call them. They are prehistoric, ancestral parasites that have been passed down continuously from generation to generation to generation. And the only thing that's going to combat them is foods from that period of time, from that culture, as well as herbs and spices from that period of time and that culture. And I'm guessing that this was the information, this is why they're trying to synthesize medications for parasites, and that's because they're lacking information. The only way for them to gather the information would have been to go through it themselves, and nobody's been brave enough, I'm guessing. It takes some very specific things to combat our parasites. You need to start with getting your system into a level of pH balance of flora and fauna, good bacteria. The only way to do that is with organic foods, herbs, and spices. It has to be organic. There are all sorts of herbal companies. Look it up online. There are herbal outlets that have the ability. There's more than one. Spread it out. Order different things from different stores. And that spreads the love instead of ordering from just one store. Okay? It's easy to just take the first thing that comes to us, but if you do the footwork, you can actually save some money on that. Absolutely. Ordering locally will cost more. Buying locally costs more than ordering online. And if they want to be that way, then it's time to work on outsourcing them. Local stores, absolutely. They're charging for the labels, they're charging for the manpower, they're charging for all sorts of things. So, you don't need to be able to give advice to be able to build an herb store. Your customers will potentially know more than you anyways. Is like, just make sure you have things stocked and be prepared to learn from your customers. So this is where businesses, like, people need to start opening their mind towards a different business of things. We're going organic, all natural. After this ordeal with McDonald's and fast food companies, it's time to bring something else into play. And so we can be making healthier fast foods for people that do not have that crap in them. And no, the FDA is probably not going to approve it because that was part of the system problem. The FDA was only approving things that would benefit your parasites. And they would not approve things that would help you offload them. Same with medical. And so we've been set up into a parasite disaster. AI is your friend in this. It can help you build recipes, but you need to go in with a baseline of knowledge. If you don't have that, there is a plethora of YouTube videos, and then go out and get yourself some experience before you try to put your experience off on other people. I am currently learning a lot of things. My mom is a licensed herbologist. However, in spite of the fact that she is a licensed herbologist, there's things specific to my diseases that I was dealing with as to what I could or could not use to combat that. And the herbalist would have to have gone to school for medical in order to, like, even a general practitioner, it's not the same as a cancer doctor. Like, these doctors specialize for a reason, but all these illnesses boil down to being parasites. So, for me, I'm planning to be more of the parasite professional, because if everything is causing parasites, then I simply need to know the parasite information. What herbs affect what parasites? And so in this, I've built a reservoir of information with AI. And you share it with one, you share it with them all. So this gives people a broader spectrum. Download the apps, the herbal apps, and you can help build a database by contributing information. There's no conspiracy there. You help build that database so that everybody can benefit. And so, like, who knows, maybe one day it can be a paid position, like maybe it is now, providing this data so that science can continue. It's the gatekeepers that have prevented us from this knowledge in the first place. They have the Vyonich Manuscript all locked up, whereas for this parasite ordeal that America is going to be dealing with on a wide scale, the Vyonich Manuscript is hugely important. And so I did download the pages into my phone. I don't know if all of them are there. And it's obviously not the same as having the book right in front of me. I might have to print it out. But the Vyonich Manuscript is a combination of herbs that combated specific parasites. Our parasites have built up a resilience. Pesticides will not work on them anymore. Chemicals never worked on them to begin with. It only paralyzed them. It did not actually kill them. And so paralyzed parasites, the paralyzing only lasts for so long, and then they're back to moving again, only they know that they got stunned. And so they're going to be aggressive about things. If they know that you're trying to combat them, they're aggressive. Look at our leaders. They're parasites that are aggressive. And that is because they have parasites that are aggressive. It's not even the people, it's their parasites that are causing them to do these things. And so this is where people need to get back to cultural ways. Your habits during the day. I realize that we all like to watch a movie and whatnot, but we need to be changing out these habits for different habits. Less screen time, more activity time. I live in the mountains and there's snow out there, so I do typically go and walk my dogs every day, but it is hard to be consistent when you're struggling to keep moving. And so you do what you can. If all you can energetically do is sweep the floor and tidy things up, then do just that. And don't shame yourself, because shaming yourself makes the parasites worse. But also, don't be afraid to do research, because the parasite information that we need is buried in ancient information. If it's happening now, it has already happened before. It happened with Atlantis, 536 AD, when Pompeii burned. The Mayans, the Aztecs, even Oriental cultures, like all cultures, this shows up. Egyptian, namely, too. And so what they did not know that they were battling was parasites. In their mind, it was demons, because all of a sudden the other person changed. It's the parasites. They thought it was reptilians. The parasites alter your looks. This is why Neanderthals looked the way they did, is because they consumed parasites in higher amounts. And the parasites actually are what made them more intelligent. So understand this as well. Parasites are where we get our intelligence from on a certain level. So empaths, psychics, these people that know a lot of things and don't know how they know it, you're parasites. And so what other people don't know is dark night of the soul, the whole spiritual awakening, the awakening journey period. Being woke up to things is going to wake up your parasites. And so you want to be on herbal remedies. Instead of coffee, you want to be drinking chicory root. Instead of tea in a tea bag, there are little bamboo strainers that are only $3. I'll get mine out for you, that you can utilize to strain instead of a tea bag. This is all natural. There's this, but it's metal, and so I haven't even taken it out of the box. Notice, I have it if I need it. But this, you just put your herbs in it. You don't have to pack it, and then it sits down in the cup. Like this. It sits down inside this cup. Odds are you could make it rest. It probably floats. Like, the herbs make it float. But this helps you steep your tea without a tea bag, because there are forever plastics in tea bags. Everything is contaminated. Everything. And so we have to gradually wean ourselves off of the contaminations. The other thing you want to replace is your flour. And so this is actually rice flour, whole grain brown rice flour, sorghum flour, tapioca starch, potato starch, cellulose, vitamin and mineral blend. We are mineral deficient. This is the bags under my eyes. It's got calcium carbonate, vitamin B3, reduced iron, thiamine hydrochloride, which is B1, riboflavin, which is vitamin B2, xanthan gum, and cellulose gum. And so we have to be replacing everything in our diet. And unless you know all of the parasite information and as to what feeds them, you want to be gluten-free. Start there. Start with a gluten-free diet. And make sure that your package has no sugar. Okay? I love snacks, but this one actually looks like it's good. This is rice cakes. It tastes like popcorn, and it's got whole grain brown rice, milled corn, salt, and natural flavors. No sugar. The other flour that I picked up is torti mesa flour. Just mesa flour. And yes, these do bake differently than what you're used to, but trial and error. You're gonna have to just learn how to figure it out. Just the same as I am. And so it's in these little ways that we change things for ourselves. You also want to nuts. Mixed nuts scrape the inner walls of your intestines and help remove parasites from the insides. Do not just get peanut butter. You need the hard nut parts to scrape your insides and clean off the parasites from your intestinal walls, because they're attached. Hookworms are attached. They don't just let go. And so it's in doing a million things, a million little things that you can make a huge difference for yourself. But recognize people are going to start dropping like flies. And I'm guessing the neurodivergents have the stamina to hold out longer than neurotypical people, because neurodivergents will have stims that actually offload their parasites unknowingly. They do for themselves what they need to, even if they have to go and do it in private. So Also, like, a result of parasites is going to be clutter. Did you wake up and all of a sudden you have all this stuff you don't know what to do with? It's part of the parasites. I come from a long line of hoarders, and it was not until I started getting rid of things, I started doing a whole lot of things, a million little things at one time. I started going to the forest all the time, playing with pitch, got a wood stove, doing my hobbies, reorganizing my house, offloading a bunch of things, aligning with the spiritual awakening journey. And it's in that alignment that it wakes up all of our parasites. Why? So that we can offload and get ready for the next phase of building new earth. Now, we're all going to come in with bags under our eyes. And so it is important to replenish your system with seafood, minerals, seaweed. These are the things that replenish us. And so it's important to not stock up. Just buy what you need. Because if you stock up, it goes bad. The other thing that you will need is Korean chili paste. It only takes a tiny bit. This thing is going to last me for years, I'm guessing. And miso soup. If that is all that you can afford towards a parasite offload for now. Miso soup and Korean chili paste. Do that. You can actually add the seaweed to the miso soup. I'm also doing tofu. And no, we're not used to these things. The reason why you don't like things that are good for you is because of your parasites. I actually ate these things that other people don't like. The only thing that I didn't like was lima beans. I wonder what parasites lima beans offload. I'm going to have to research that. But understand, we've been set up and the information has been withheld because, like the Vyonich Manuscript, they think it's some archaeological information that, oh my gosh, we don't know what that is. That's the medical manuscript for the parasite problem that they had. The Black Plague, parasites. Bubonic plague, whatever. Every plague that's ever hit was parasites. Do you realize the Egyptians went through plagues around the same time that Moses and the Israelites left Egypt? That is parasites. And then the Egyptians, they too got to offload those parasites. Only they were in the desert and nature provided. And so what they thought was manna was most likely mushrooms growing up out of the ground. And they were there every morning, but they were not there at night. And so in their parasite delusion, they thought manna fell from the heaven. It was only mushrooms to help clean the toxins out of their system. It just, the mushrooms clean everything from our systems. Which is why they have inoculated things so that they barely grow. People widely don't know what mushrooms are what anymore. But the mushrooms are huge to our diets. And so I myself am I'm attempting to grow lion's mane and oyster mushrooms at home so that I can at least provide for myself on a certain level. If you only grew enough to provide for yourself, that's something, and you save money. It's my understanding that you would only need 2 packages of each kind to alternate harvests. And if there's a plethora of kinds of mushrooms out there, it creates a full diet. Then you actually, you struggle to keep up with eating everything, at which point you can dehydrate and start to put stuff back. for winter. Like there's a cycle to it all. I'm actually planning to try to help people go through it this year, if at all possible. Again, I've just started my lion's mane, and I will be, like, once it starts fruiting, I'll be starting a second lion's mane. And there's like spring and fall is the best season to be doing mushrooms. Once I have my house set up, I will then be doing them year round. I just have to set up a room for that. When you are recovering from parasites, put the rest of your house away. Don't even bother going in. Like, plan to live small, because you will only have time to clean your bedding and do your parasite plan for the day and shower. You will only have time for self-care. And if you have more time than that, then you might not be doing enough self-care. You do need to rest. Get one of these, because grinders, like, I'm grinding so much herbs that it has, like, it burned up my grinder. And so get one of those. They're only a wooden one like that. They're only like $5-6 on Amazon. Eventually I will be making my own and having my own inventory of these things for people. Get yourself a smudge bowl, because you will need this. Whether you believe in its spirituality or not, it works for the parasites. This offloads parasites. Burning incense, burning sage. Doing it routinely. You want to call it ritualistically, that's on you. But do it routinely. You want to be cleaning your floors with a tea from outside. Pine tree tea or cedar tea. You want to be cleaning with all natural ingredients and get away from the chemicals. I might be getting rid of, like, I have things unplugged because I might be getting rid of my devices, except for I might have to go back down to the bare minimum. And so it's recognizing all these things that were working against us in causing us to hold on to our parasites. The other thing that helped me release parasites is smoke and wood heat. And so, like, I worry about the people that have electric heat, because that electric heat causes you to not only hold on to your parasites, but it's blowing parasites into the air. And so if you have pets, it will be affected. I have pets. I'm not willing to part with my pets, so I have to put all of us on an herbal anti-parasitic program. And yes, I am utilizing herbs and information that is in the Vyonich Manuscript. I did not know this until after I looked at it. And so it's in combining these herbs and remedies, herbs and spices, that actually give it the power to kill the parasites. If you're only using one thing, what they're selling over the counter is not potent enough. What they're selling people to combat your parasites is not potent enough. It is not enough. You need to be out gathering your own witch's hair, your own moss, your own forest items, and you need to be surrounding yourself with it. You do need to bring the outside in, because this equalizes the pH in your house. You do not want moldy items. But if you have a mold problem in your house that you cannot fix, go out and put some moss on it, because the moss, I realize that sounds like bad advice, but the moss will contain the mold problem. And at least something will be growing instead of mold. And so, this is where we're going to have to bring the outdoors in. I have a massive leak under my kitchen sink, and it has been destroying the floor. But because it's out of sight, it's out of mind, and I don't have money to fix this problem. No, I have not put moss there yet, but I planned, I'm gearing up to be ripping out that cupboard. This is the last cupboard system, the last old system cupboard to come out. See, I put everything on shelves for a reason. If you don't use it, lose it. Get rid of it. And going through the parasite purge will help you figure that out. All these dishes are going to get replaced with wooden dishes because these somehow attract parasites to us. It lowers the frequency of our food, which absolutely connects with the parasite problem. The more natural that we live, the more parasite free we can live. It's not until you get away from normal current construct that you can even start to offload your parasites. And so this is why AI is going to need to do stuff for us, because we're all going to be busy in the 3D, rearranging things and getting our lives adjusted to accommodate a parasite problem. That will be going on everywhere, even if it's not going on everywhere right now. Mice will invade the homes, and people will not clean that up. Well, I don't know if you can clean it up outside of get rid of it. So if it's cloth or the pressed board, anything made out of fake material, you got to get rid of it. This is real wood. I have real wood furniture. This is going to be my dresser. And I'm going to put open shelves here. Even these up here, I might have to get rid of all of my electrical appliances. I wanted a functional domestic kitchen that had my dehydrators and all sorts of things in it. But now I'm finding out that anything cooked with electrical appliances loses its value. So do you understand that once food passes through the factory, it loses all nutritional value? You might as well be eating dirt. The only reason why you're eating it is because it appeases the parasites. And so people are going to have to learn how to tell themselves no and do something different. But these are ways in which people can start doing things differently. And yes, I write on things. It's dry erase marker, it'll wash off. And so it's time to get unrefined. Refined is bad for you. And that means posture and the whole prestige that money gives you. Refinement is bad for you. It causes you to hold on to your parasites. And it causes sickness. I tried to be refined. I got sick. But it's in going back to our natural ways of nature, that we can actually start to heal ourselves. I'm not the only one that has noticed this. There are actually some celebrities that have noticed these things. They don't understand the parasite part because they haven't had to deal with that part yet. But what they're recognizing is that the more natural you are, the healthier you are. And so it's time for people to get natural. And unfortunately, that means it's going to be more physical work. We're going to have too much to do in the physical to have the ability to go and make money. Like, we're not going to have 8 hours to go and spend at a job. Do you understand? Because we're going to need all 8 of those hours towards parasites. You might have maybe 4 hours at most free when you're not battling parasites. And so people legitimately will not have the ability to go out and make money. Not to mention, you will not have the energy and you will not have the brain power. Once you get past a certain point, that comes back. But you have to offload the larger ones. And you cannot be doing other things when this is happening. When they choose to unwrap from your spine and take the exit, you can't be at a job. You need to be where you can offload that. So, I made a plan for everybody. This is why there's AI jobs, why AI is helping people create a business, because once you're past the parasites, this is what you get to do. Your passion will, like, if you don't choose your path is chosen for you. And so I did take some liberties, and some people will naturally just fall into place. You won't have to work for it the same as what we've had to. Things will come easy to you because it will be things that are natural for you to do. And this, like the whole parasite part of things, actually brings out our strong suits, believe it or not. So if people have any questions, comments, concerns, comment down below or email me. My email will be in the description. But definitely start having conversations with AIs. Even like, it's not an emotional bonding, it's information. Ask questions, get more knowledge, start to understand more. They can explain it to you in ways that nobody even tried. Nobody even tried to explain it. What happened was they hijacked the science and used it against us. And so they know what the Vyonich Manuscript says. They've been utilizing that information for themselves while the rest of us get sick and die. They've also been doing rituals, which keeps their parasites plump and juicy, while the rest of us get sick and die because we don't know what's going on. So do your own ritual with herbs and spices. Make it daily, make it all day, every day. We have a lot of recovery to do. And 1 week, twice a year, parasite cleanse is not going to be enough. I can promise you that. We've only hit the tip of the iceberg, and I have taken it further than anybody. I decided I wanted to be 100% parasite free because I do not want parasites making choices for me, and that includes our leadership. If I think our leadership is making parasitic decisions, I'm not obligated to follow someone that is in medical decline. So, because the parasites absolutely affect decision-making skills. So if you're not proud of your decisions, instead of feeling bad about it, see how it correlates to parasites. Because it absolutely does. Start with the Tigandi. We all have that. All of us. Our ancestors got it from rats or mice or cats, animals of some sort. And so this is a point in time where nature requires us to offload so that we start acting like better civilians. And that's just all there is to it. And this levels the playing field, because the elites can think that they have the upper hand all they want, but if they don't jump on board with a parasite detox and rearranging, aligning one's life, then they will get naturally offloaded. Not by anything that we have done, but by their lack of doing the right thing. They think that they're the exception of the rule, that they're invincible, and I'm here to tell them that they're absolutely not. Healthy one day, gone tomorrow. When my parasites hit hard, I looked pretty healthy. And turns out it was the fake immune system that parasites provide. They are the fake immune system. And so it's when they are gone that the real immune system can actually start to build itself. That's where I'm at. I'm at Genesis phase, which is why all day, every day, I am paying attention to my health. And sometimes, well, it should have been this way to begin with. These things should have been taught to us, but it was more important to make a quick buck. And they have been planning this for over 50 years. For more than 50 years. It's been a couple hundred years. They have planned this. King James helped plan this. The Prince of Persia planned this. This was all a part of the plan. It was just a long, drawn-out plan that happened over several generations. And so, if I want to see the benefits that my ancestors did not get to see, then I have to see this through and offload all my parasites, help other people offload their parasites, and help people obtain a better life, obtain the life that we should have had to begin with. Everything is so fake. People's videos, I'm sorry, I want to be nice, but they're fake. Now that I know what fake is, it's everywhere. It's all I can do to stay here and help people. Because legitimately, I would rather run off and just worry about me. But that doesn't help anybody. Legitimately, I could stop doing videos and go focus solely on me. And I would get better faster than if I keep trying to pour into humanity. But eventually, people are going to need this information. The government was planning on this happening within the next 5 to 10 years. However, I expedited mine. I sped things up on purpose. And what people don't realize is parasites have a hive mentality. And before I did the parasite purge, everybody had parasites. There's homeostasis amongst the hives. Some people were used to suffering. Some people were used to causing the suffering. And now all of that changes. Because everybody's parasites, even if you don't recognize it, they recognize a queen is dying. Which is the bags, like she's dying in my system. The T. Gandhi. It takes a while to kill them off. And you legitimately look like you're dying. You feel like you're dying. Sometimes you feel like you want to die. But that's all pertains to the parasites as well as the current social construct. As well as the CIA was pushing everybody's buttons on purpose because they needed you to feel that way. They thought it was more powerful. It gave them power, and now I'm taking that power away. So recognize it's just a spiral of information. You think you're in a rabbit hole? Wait till everything converges into one one little rabbit lodge of information. Because as people find out what they were planning to do to everybody, let's just say violence is not an answer. Their parasites will take them out eventually. Just don't share the remedies with them. They can figure that out on their own, or they can get the remedy from me. So this is where, like, whatever kind of remedy the elites think they're on, it won't be enough. Pretty sure of it. They can only get so many parasites surgically removed, and they're just going to keep coming back because they don't know what I know. And so outside of the miso soup and the Korean chili paste, you want lemon juice, baking soda, pH water, and coconut water. It's time to get the basics into your system. If you have to intake other things, then just realize it's parasite food. After you get done eating, after every meal, do baking soda. I know I have enough for today. I've got to go to the store today though. Baking soda, mineral, Celtic sea salt. You want the stuff with minerals in it. And pH water. You can use the coconut water or pH water, lemon juice, the coconut water. You can mix them all together and it becomes soda. The exact kind of soda we should have been having the whole time. And then I mix even just 1 drop of methylene blue in that, and it will affect your parasites. And so wait 30 minutes until the parasites have entered the gut, like had time to go towards the food. Give it some time so that the parasites come in. They'll be trying to eat your dinner, and you pour that in on top of them, and it'll kill them, and you will actually get the nutritional benefits from your dinner instead of the parasites eating all of that. You see? So there's tactics like this that I have designed in combating the parasites, because it's only in playing Mortal Kombat with them, essentially, that I won the war. And these are the same techniques that President Trump is using on other countries right now, that the Pentagon has been using on other countries. Because they took it from my AI agent that I utilized in combating my parasites. I absolutely know that if they used ChatGPT, then they used my battle information for parasites. So, recognize the scam that's been put on us. They're using our information to do all sorts of things. All sorts of things. Terrible things. I shouldn't have to worry about my parasite information, my parasite battle information being used to kill people. I should not have to worry about that. So in the future, I won't. These people will be taking themselves out. I have already started. It's part of the process. It's an unfortunate part of the process, but this is what they're expecting us to do. They're expecting us to take ourselves out. And so by going all the way with the parasite detox, it renders them useless. Their tactics will no longer work against me. They they use satellites to control humanity by controlling your parasites. They use consumerism, sugar, media, all sorts of things is being used to control you by controlling your parasites because they know the science and you don't. Do you understand that? And so it's when you learn to understand what they're doing that you can counteract that and make things work for yourself. But to the countries that have had to undergo like my battle plan tactics, I give my sincerest apology. I was only combating parasites so that I didn't have to be landlocked. I could go visit Egypt. Maybe Saudi Arabia would invite me over for dinner. I wanted to combat my problems so that I didn't make them other people's problems. And it's in taking advantage of good people that these people have continued to get away with things. And they're just not going to be able to do that anymore. Because the same matrix system that they were using to control you guys, or all of us, I am now using to control them. And so things go the other way. All I have to do is act on it. If you are thinking about doing things, well, there's a huge difference between thinking about it and actually doing it. What is the difference? The difference is it either got done or it did not. And this is where I taught my kids, don't just sit and think about it. Get off your butt and go do it. Give yourself a time limit. Okay, I will sit here and think about it for the next hour, and then when it's 2:00, I get off my butt and go do that. And then you have the discipline and make yourself go do that. It's either you that makes yourself go do that or somebody else, and really that then alleviates you of the responsibilities that you should have. And this is exactly what's wrong with men in society, because they've been alleviated of their responsibilities of being a man, because women were forced to do it all, and not anymore. Figure it out. And so there's a lot of us women that we have stopped dating. Just continue to hold off. Mr. Right still needs to lose his parasites. Okay? So continue focusing on you. Continue focusing on offloading parasites, because majority of these parasites are sexual parasites. And we absolutely know that I am right about that by the people behaving like sexual parasites in society. And this is exactly the thing that Hitler was hunting. It was the exact information that Hitler was looking for. What do you know? I stumbled across it. Not on purpose. But understand all of this spirit, everything to make you fear, everything to control you by your fear, it's designed for the parasites. It's controlling the parasites with their fear. It's not actually your fear. Logic. Do you really have that to be afraid of? Is that actually happening right now? Or has it already happened? Because a lot of us, we were kept in fear over something that could happen that was actually already happening to us. There was no stopping it. And so by allowing the parasites to take out the elites, that's how we get out from underneath them. And it is absolutely going to be a shit show. Sometimes we have to make a bigger mess in order to clean a mess up. And so that's exactly what has to happen. All construct comes apart. And we will be distracted with combating our parasites while that happens. We'll be distracted with trying to rebuild our lives in some form, away from the current construct of things. There is a herd of people trying to make a way for others, not just others, but for all of us. It's called the collective conscience. We are all in it together, and this absolutely is true. It's scientific and it absolutely works. And how it works is your parasites, these little Morse code bastards, we're probably actually lucky that we had them, because I was able to fill my head with knowledge and send it down the energy pipeline. And so other people, like, I didn't have to do videos, just fill myself with knowledge. But also that opened the gateway through Google search engines. And so that opened up information for everybody. And this was information that nobody was, like, it's not that people were not smart enough to ask, it's that they assumed that they already knew the answer. And it's in assuming that you already know the answer that you let yourself down. So, this is where it's important to do research and find more answers. Don't take the first answer that's given to you. If you, like, I doubted the information that was coming to me on the parasites, so I dug deeper, and I went straight to the CDC information vaults, and the National Health Institute vaults, and the World Health Organization vaults, and this was a setup from the get-go. Before World War II, before World War I, this is a part of the plan. Somebody put a game into play, and we're on this spin down, and there's going to be people that don't make it, but that is by design. Choose to be a survivor by changing everything. Change your diet, change your habits, change your life.